Yes! I will do it! I will live!
Now, when's the last time I made a Fortnite video? Last chapter? Really? Now, I know this is a nerdcore adjacent channel, at least. I cover indie horror and indie horror adjacent stuff in Fortnite, okay? I like Fortnite. And even though the game is really unpolished in its current state, I find myself enjoying the game more often than not. I usually find myself enjoying the game more often than not. And with this season coming to an end, or more likely, with the season being over, how's the new season? Do I like it? I want to talk about it as somebody who's completely casual and only started playing the season again for Spider-Man. How's Spider-Man? Do I like it? And I mean completely casual. I've never touched ranked. I don't care about ranked. I've never looked at gun stats a day in my life. I go off of vibes. I like direct. Oh yeah.
Homero.
I mean, it's alright. Minus the pump, I think I've enjoyed every weapon this season. However, that doesn't mean I don't have a preferred loadout. I always take the surgical rifle. That's not what it's called. I always take the burst rifle and a Maven. God, the Maven is so good. Oh my god. And the third weapon kind of depends on what I get. Sometimes it's that weird bouncy item. Other times it's an SMG. And sometimes there's a quest that makes me have to use a weapon. Now, my lack of definitive third weapon should prove to you that I don't really care that much about what I get. An extended focus shotgun, that's basically just a Maven, I don't care. But there's one big hole in the loot pool, one that you might have noticed while playing, and that's that there's way too much mobility. Your Batmobile may lose a wheel, but much like Joker, you'll still be able to run away. Overdrive grenades are good, don't get me wrong. I still don't get why shockwaves are bad, but whatever.
I knew that shit was gonna happen.
Spidey's gloves, in the most biased way possible, are the best mobility in the entire game. The 7 sliders, more like the Skibbity sliders. There's a variant of the 7 sliders that lets you slide infinitely. Why is there an infinite mobility item?
Look, there's my shadow on the floor. I'm floor shadowing.
I've never used shock rocks a day in my life, but I know they're pretty good. I think, maybe, possibly. I want to make it clear, the problem isn't mobility. You and me both know that this game needs mobility. The problem is that there are 6 easily obtainable mobility items. 9 if you count cars and the way too hard to get 2,000 gold Batman grappler. This is way too much. There are 9 mobility items. If there were just 1 or 2, that'd be fine. But there's 9. I was playing a game of Fortnite, I don't have any footage of it, where somebody had 10 different mobility items. You know how many I had? 4. The shockwave you get in zero build, and then 3 boosted shockwaves. Running is a major problem in the game, not just in this season, but as a whole. So why in the loot pool do we need 9 mobility items? I mean, if POIs had long gaps between them, it'd be fine. But they really don't, man. I really don't see the need for 9 mobility items. Not just in Battle Royale, but in any game mode, ever. Chapter 5 probably had the best map of any Fortnite map ever, even though Chapter 5 sucked. I still liked it. This map looks like a color wheel. Basically, every POI had their own biome, so no matter what, you would have a unique landing spot. They tried to do it again. It's not as good. My main problem with this map is that there's so many biomes, but they're in such weird spots. We can talk about the red biome all day, but the worst offender is the bug biome. It's in the middle of the map. You know what else is in the middle of the map? There's also the weird hooks it has, making it so this biome is way too big for its own good. And then there's the autumn biome. Those are the only biomes in this map. They're just all massive. Every biome looks like they were randomly thrown on, like somebody closed their eyes and just like threw paint on the map. Also, the blue part looks like SpongeBob. Isn't this video about Chapter 7? This part had nothing to do with Chapter 7. You know the video you're making, right? The point I'm making is that I have my biases and you have yours. So when I say this rivals Chapter 5 as the best map we've ever gotten, yeah, you can tell I'm a little biased. Now, I want to make it clear, every Fortnite chapter only has 1 or 2 locations that are actually memorable. Tilted Towers, Agency, Daily Bugle, Forest Biome, Nitro Dome, Hive. No name literally any other POI. So here's like the 3 memorable ones from this chapter. Wonky Land is one of those POIs you go to because nobody goes there, and then you immediately leave because nobody's there. However, an amusement park POI is pretty interesting, so I have to give them that. Chopped Shop is very similar to Wonky Land, but it's my dropping spot because I know where the mythic is. Sinister Strip really doesn't have that much to it. I just like the color scheme. That's about it. And finally, Frosted Flats. I've been here so many times, but I never remember going here. But a forgettable POI doesn't make a bad one. There's somebody mowing my lawn right now, and I'm scared they hear me. I like this POI because it's slightly snowy, but it's not on a mountain, so I don't gotta worry about getting the high ground. And since snow biomes are usually near the corners of the map, this is one of few snow biomes not to be eaten by the storm. At least, not immediately. I also like it because it reminds me of the Ice King. Also, the 0 points in the middle of the map, and across the map, there's a bunch of extractors for sprites. We'll get back to those. They're all visually distinct minus the big thing in the middle, to the point where if I crop out the map, there's a non-zero chance you know where this is. And that's because of the previously established biome diversity. And also, you've probably extracted here before. Now, let's get back to those sprites. Those sprites. This ain't build a bitch. Sprite rate up for literally 60 seconds. The year is 2025. Baymax is in Fortnite, Epic Games hasn't laid off 1,000 employees yet, and you're having fun with the new chapter. But there's something different in this chapter. Something undercooked. Something not yet finished. That thing being sprites. And as the chapter progressed, sprites stayed relatively the same. Some people seeing this undercooked mechanic wanted them to come back. And once they decided to bring sprites back, people started realizing there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Sprites as a mechanic for the season are not bad. I would even say that sprites as a chapter mechanic are not bad. Having a bunch of little guys with different effects that you can bring into Battle Royale whenever you want is not a bad idea. Plus you have to level them up in order to make them more powerful. So if you died to somebody with an OP sprite, you know, at least they leveled it up, right? And if it was just that, a majority of the player base wouldn't be complaining right now that sprites are bad. But they are. Why is that? Well, have you ever heard of Steal a Brain Rot? Steal a Brain Rot is a slop game on Roblox that is entirely made for money, that benefits nobody. The children get brain damage. If you work on the game, you gotta live with the fact that this is what you do for a living. And if you make content on this game, you look insane. This game visually looks like a migraine, and gameplay-wise, it doesn't have any. And this isn't me saying I've outgrown Roblox. I still play Roblox games because I'm a chud. This game just sucks. Don't let your kids watch this. Now there's a Fortnite version of Steal a Brain Rot out there, and Fortnite keeps advertising it because they forget their game is rated T for teen. You've never played Steal a Brain Rot on Fortnite. I've never played Steal a Brain Rot on Fortnite. Why was it in a live event? Now I'm not mentioning this game just so I can dog on it. Listen, believe you me, I could go on all day. I'm mentioning the game because Fortnite stole a whole mechanic for the sprites. Golden, Gummy, Galaxy, Gem, Quack. Quack? Now, the idea of different rarities doesn't come from Steal a Brain Rot, but specifically this golden, diamond, uber duper rare Quack bullshit comes from Steal a Brain Rot. And since this increases the rarity of the sprite, there are sprites that are 1 in a billion! The 0 point sprite is base 1 in a million. It has golden variations. It has all the variations. Who does this reward? It doesn't reward me since I haven't seen a single 0 point sprite at its max percentage, let alone one of its variants. It doesn't reward collectors, because now you gotta spend all day looking for the 0 point sprite. This rewards scalpers. There's people on eBay selling the 0 point sprite. Now, I'm not gonna say that I haven't indulged in sprites. I've done Mastery Monday. You've done Mastery Monday. We've all fallen for this scam. But I can still admit that this is stupid. But at least there isn't a sprite who I can find pretty easily saying a slur on TikTok within like 3 seconds.
What is up with this fireman?
Yeah, what's up with that fireman? But don't worry, the straight white guy who has Slur Saturday as like a assumedly weekly thing isn't that bad, guys. Don't worry. Fortnite has had much worse people on their game. Pretend like you guys aren't vouching to remove those people too. That's a real argument I saw, by the way. But with this season ending soon, we don't have to worry. I mean, sprites are gonna go away, right? They're just gonna poof into the aether, never to be seen again. And, you know, we can just live a normal life. That's sprites ever. Now again, I want to make it very clear, I don't mind sprites as a mechanic. It's just this stupid player retention shit that bogs down sprites as a whole. If you just had to extract one of each sprite without these stupid golden modifier, cube modifier, skibbity toilet modifier, then I wouldn't care. I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but these mechanics come from a game that promotes gambling to children. So no matter what, if they have these modifier mechanics, I'm gonna view them as scummy. Another thing I don't like is that we don't know if sprites are gonna leave actually ever. And to see a mechanic entirely revolved around children and Nick A30 be the permanent mid-game objective and not something good like augments. I want augments back, please, Fortnite. It makes me kind of mad. A game I kind of grew up playing is appealing to children, not the target demographic. Now that I've become a teenager, the target demographic. But hey, Fortnite's hosting a live event, so let's see what happens. This is one of few live events I actually got to go to. The 0 point is all shattered right now. I couldn't tell you why. My recap video only went up to like chapter 4. So the new 7 make a device to stabilize the 0 point. And don't worry, the visitor also helped.
The visitor's Geno!
Now stuff starts going wrong because Geno's evil. And we get some of the most interesting visuals we've ever gotten in any event ever, I'd say. This is all because Geno is hacking reality. And obviously, since Fortnite is a game, the game itself starts glitching out. This just looks really cool, and I wanted to show it. Eventually, your 6 gigs of RAM run out, and your computer is forced to shut off. And after we reboot from BIOS, for some reason, we get sent back to a 0 pointless island. Wait, hold up, what? Yeah, the Fortnite storyline MacGuffin is gone entirely. It's just gone. And it's been replaced with an advertisement for next season. For the 2 hours after the event, the Grim Reaper and 0 point sprite were way easier to find, alongside everybody getting the Infinite 7 sliders for free. You think I'd be mad about the infinite mobility, but not really, no. When everybody's super, then nobody is. And if everyone can run, then everyone will be able to catch up. Also, it was for like 2 hours, so I don't really care. This is where I transition into my final thoughts. I couldn't think of one.
A shiny quarter.
Fortnite is in a very weird spot right now. Is the current season bad? Not really, no. I quite like this season when I don't engage with the stuff I don't like. Crazy how that turns out, right? But that begins to become a problem when the season's gimmick is the thing I don't like. Sprites are scummy, sprites are bad, sprites are unoriginal, sprites suck. A weird side effect of sprites being in the game is that whenever I play solo, I do sprite stuff, I extract them, I do Mastery Monday. And since I refuse to do sprite stuff outside of solos, I've been asking my friends to play more, so I don't have to do sprites. Hopefully when Fortnite creators that speak their mind start making videos about sprites, Fortnite will realize that the only people who like sprites are not T for Teen, except Nick A30. God, I hate that guy. Hopefully next season removes the modifiers, while also not repeating the same 1 in a million sprite stuff. Also, please remove some mobility options. There's way too many, and we're gonna have a Sonic Mythic next season. We don't need more mobility. Anyways, I've been Sam Sutson. You should expect another Fortnite video next season. This was genuinely really fun to make, and I'm sick. Tilted Towers Agency. Tilted Towers Agency Daily Bugle. Okay, I need to remember the one I said. Tilted Towers Agency Daily Bugle. Forest Biome. God, I need to do this all in one. Tilted Towers Agency Daily Bugle. Forest Biome. Nitro Dome Hive.